ownership, okay, as a social enterprise, probably it is not that important, but if you have a few members, still you have to talk about your company ownership structure, who got so many percent. Now, in other occasions, I have another presentation talk about share structures and so on and so forth. Now, try not to have a share structure that everybody got the same share. If you have two persons, please, in the structure, do not, I repeat, do not have 50% ownership. So meaning two got an equal share. Because that company would never work out. Reason why? Because there is nobody to make a decision. Nobody is the boss. Because basically, for any resolution or any decision, if you have an argument, whoever gets a bigger share will be the boss. 50-50 meaning there is no decision. Now, then if you have, just in case you just have two persons making a decision, I mean two persons forming this social enterprise. So how do you, I mean, who is going to get 51%? Who is going to get 49%? Right? And then you are two buddies. So what do? Very simple. I have a very, very simple way. The two of you, there must be an understanding who is smarter than the other. Right? If you still cannot figure out who can devote more time into the business, right? Or who get a higher grade in, say, secondary school or Form 7, or who get a higher grade in the last years of school in the university, then that one, for example, get 51, the other get 49. Then you, in case there is a disagreement on something, somebody can call the shot and be the boss. Right? Otherwise, you never have a decision. Funding requirement, Nicholas also talk about the size of the fund. I mean, you are talking about, say, I want $500,000, I want $100,000. Now, for your social enterprise, I hope, because eventually, I mean, the money that you get is $100,000. I hope that you can do something with your $100,000. So size of the fund, share of equity for the investor, meaning when they invest, how much money they will get now. For the social enterprise, probably they will give you $100,000, they don't take any share. Right? But in case you need $1 million Hong Kong dollars, $500,000, okay, somebody in the, as a judge in the competition probably will be rich enough give you $250,000. I mean, there are a lot of rich people around. Okay, how much share you are going to give to the investor for your enterprise for the amount of money that you talk about? Now, when it's really for real, how long will it last? I mean, the money, how long would that amount of money last? And the time to the next round, okay, you ask for $500,000, you ask for $100,000. Do you need to have more money to inject into your company before it breaks even, that it can sustain yourself without further injection? Now, for those of you in the business school, you heard about the cash flow statement, right? This is the most important statement for a startup. You can forget about the profit and loss, you can forget about the balance sheet, because that doesn't matter for a startup. The startup is always talking about cash flow. If you have no cash to pay your salary for the employee, to pay for your electricity, pay for the rent, you're out of business, right? How long will it take for you to break even, or do you need to have another round of funding to raise? For example, okay, I require $1 million. I'll give you 10% of my equity, meaning a simple calculation, meaning that today, for post-money, meaning after the investment, my company will be worth $10 million. So your $1 million will be 10%. Right? Now, break even after this round. So give people the comfort that, okay, after I inject $1 million, there won't be another round of money needed to be raised, to give people the comfort. Now, use of the fund and the time, it can be for many things, for research and development, of new products, for manufacturing, for new market developments, for stock, meaning your inventory, Operating expense. Now, fundraising status. This will happen in the next slide. I'll tell you what that is if applicable. Now, as an investor, they would love to know that your money is majority will be used for new market development and manufacturing, because this is how the money will come back. If you keep on using it for R&D of new product, so and so forth, then the break-even element that you are going to talk about may not work, or they may not believe it. For example, use of fund, I'll use 60% of my money for market development, meaning that I expand my Hong Kong market or my regional market or my worldwide market. 20% for new product development. Okay, this is a good balance because there will be new products coming out. 20% for inventory. Okay, I stock my inventory and then so that I can sell. Now, we just talked about raising $1 million US, right? Now, at this moment, already $200,000 already committed. Okay, so I need another, in the same round, I need $800,000 only, because I already raised $200,000. And then the closing date is 30 of November 2009, meaning that I have another, 2 days, 3 days for you to invest. Otherwise, because probably I'll give you the pressure as a potential investor. There are a lot of interested people, companies in my operation or in my company. I've already got $200,000 committed, and then a lot are talking to me, and then the closing is in 2 weeks' time, 1 week's time, or a couple of days. But don't give people too much pressure, because the time that I prepared is in the early part of November, so I just put down the end of November. Now, this probably do not apply to your social enterprise, but when it is for real, to raise money. IPO meaning initial public offering, meaning put it into the stock market for going public. Trade sale meaning you sell to another company. Now, when it is a trade sale, make sure you tell people that who are your potential companies that you will sell to, or they will acquire your company. Otherwise, you'll be just talking about, you're just dreaming too much. And the time frame. So when people will buy your company, or when you will go IPO. For example, I will go public in the year 2000. Okay, just talk about. The case was the example was 1997. So in 3 years' time, I will go public. Now, this is probably the last slide for your presentation. Contact person, title, phone, email, fax. I put a bracket now. People don't use fax anymore. Website address. Now, why I put back the fax? Because about 10 years ago, I have an 82-year-old uncle called me. He don't know how to use email. He only have a fax. He asked me whether I have a fax at home. Yes, I have a fax at home. So he faxed me something. Now, in the world today, social enterprise, for whatever funding that you need to raise, you can forget about your fax number. Okay? People will use email. Okay, so your last line, the name of the person, the company, phone number, email address, website, and address. Now, even as a social enterprise, if you have already set it up, or you are about to set up, or you try to play the game of a competition in a social enterprise, even if you have not done so, I don't know whether you can cheat, but basically I will never, in this type of presentation for the email address, when I am for real, to put my Yahoo, my Gmail as an email address. Even some of our, I run the incubation program of the science park. Anybody who apply, they can still have the Gmail, but after 1 month, they still get into the program and still use their Yahoo and email address, they will have a hard problem for